US lawmakers, they take action on wetin dey go on for Nigeria right now, and as it stands right now, they don't pass a motion to make sure say they divide the country to bring peace and stability for the country, because the Christian genocide don't do too much, don't boko for the country Nigeria. So I go allow you, may you just watch this video from the start to the end, listen to every single thing where they go on, and drop your opinion at the comment section. What should be the best? And I know say that the past find all the whole legal means to make sure say they do the right thing. US no be kind of country where be say they go just they no be fight, they know they take things on our way, they go just follow due process so that everybody go see the transparency of waiting they go on. So pay attention, watch this video from the starting to the end. Make sure say you share this video to everyone on every social media platform. The way US don't put body for this matter, in no distant time, everything go clear for everybody. Many people think say all those things na joke or they know they serious, but if you look at the actions we say they start to take as of last year and this year, you go see say these people are making a whole lot of move to make sure say all those things is being actualized. And the way it is going right now, Biafra might come at any single time. So share this video to everyone, and don't forget to click the subscribe button for more updates. Freedom for the people of Biafra and freedom for Mazinani Kalo. Don't forget to share this video, and the only one if you take encourage support us. Click the subscribe button now.
US lawmakers have delivered a comprehensive report to the White House, outlining specific measures to combat Christian persecution and extremist violence in Nigeria. The February 23rd presentation marks a significant escalation in congressional pressure on Abuja to address religious violations. Congressman Riley Moore led the bipartisan delegation that formally handed over the document to the Trump administration. The congressional document proposing sweeping actions, negotiating a bilateral U.S.-Nigeria security agreement, conditioning American aid on verifiable progress, and imposing targeted sanctions under the Global Magnitsky Act against individuals or groups complicit in violations. The report specifically names the Meetiala Cattle Breeders Association and officials enabling blasphemy enforcement. The lawmakers are demanding the repeal of Sharia and blasphemy laws in states where they are applied, disarmament of militias, persecution of perpetrators, and improved protections for displaced communities. While the White House hasn't commented on next steps, but the report signals potential escalation in U.S. pressure if Nigeria fails to demonstrate measurable progress on religious freedom protection. But however, implementing these sweeping measures may present, significant diplomatic challenges. I know that you have gone through the document and you've seen some of those measures, especially some of these, enforcements of, disarming the Sharia law or, changing all of that. It might, it might prove challenging for them. I don't know how that implementation might work, but it is welcoming to hear the sort of collaboration when you, talk about persecution of militias, the terrorist group, and that sort of rhetoric is what we want to hear with the collaboration.
All right, I like the word collaboration that you emphasize on. Yes. I don't think this is a collaboration, mind you. I think this is the US taking charge and inviting Nigeria when it thinks it needs to come on the table. Yes, they have talked about collaboration, but truly, when you read the report, there's nothing collaborative about this. The recommendations, the stark numbers that were mentioned, it was an indictment, because they said that Nigeria is actually the most difficult country currently to live as a Christian, where Christians are persecuted. That was stated in their report. But when you talk about recommendations, this is where, and that's why I come to the point of it's not a collaboration, because I'm not sure how Nigeria would achieve some of the recommendations made by Rep. Riley Moore and the committee that worked on this.
More details.
There's more details, but it's there. But in truth, there are certain very divisive recommendations that were there that I don't think even Nigeria was part of that committee they would agree to. Number one, we've often talked about the Sharia law and the history of the Sharia law, that it's more complicated and complex than just saying do away with it. It started from the Obasanjo administration, and yes, you might have conversations and thoughts around it, and a number of people have come out to say that this is one of the reasons why it's difficult to practice Christianity in certain parts of the country. But there are constitutional, conversations around that. It's not just coming up with a report and stating that. Then he also talks about, Russia, relationships with Russia and China, and talking about how, the Chinese sometimes take advantage and perpetuate these acts by paying these militia groups to protect them when they illegally mine our resources. We need to investigate that, because there have been undercurrents around these illegal minings going on and the funding of these illegal mining. So whilst we might disagree with the US position on how Nigeria should interact with other international partners like Russia and China, there's still some substance there that needs to be investigated, and we need to say more about that. But in other areas, a lot, if you go and read under the comments, you would almost feel sad or embarrassed being in Nigeria. People were hailing, oh, thank you so much. Now come and monitor our elections. You have done really well. But of course, this is ignorant response, because it's not everything as a Nigerian that I should agree. We are still a sovereign nation the last time I checked. But other recommendations, the collaboration of coming together to ensure that aid is provided,
so there's
to ensure that aid is provided for the people living in the IDP camps, internally displaced camps, and for that process to be transparent and the monies monitored. Yeah. Also based on achievable outcomes as well. I thought that was really good. And we should begin to see how we phase out and take out people from the IDP and resettle them into the communities. They also talk about protection of lives and properties in these areas, and concerted efforts that must be made by the government to ensure the protection of lives and properties, especially in the middle belt areas or areas that have been flagged off. This would have a ripple effect, but on the whole of it, it's bittersweet. Good, because finally attention has been brought to this matter that has been talked about for too long in Nigeria but has been covered. But bad, because it's quite sad that another country seems to be taking the lead in what Nigeria ought to primarily be taking a lead on in terms of protecting its own people.
Yeah, I mean, you highlighted, there's no harm in collaborating. I mean, because this is how nations survive, really. And, there's some sort of diplomatic relations that we need to continue to engage to solve these problems, severe problems that we're facing in Nigeria. Well, meanwhile, Rufai, in a shocking development, a new report from AFP has sparked reactions as it alleges that the Nigerian government paid 2 billion naira to Boko Haram terrorists in exchange for 230 students and staff of St. Mary's Catholic School after they were kidnapped last November. According to the report, 3 sources told AFP that Nigeria's federal government flew via helicopter to one of Boko Haram's hideouts in Goza, northeastern Borno State, and transferred the funds to Ali Ngulde, one of the group's militant commanders. And because of poor network in the area, Ngulde reportedly had to leave Nigeria and travel to Cameroon to confirm receipt of the money. Once confirmed, 100 children were released. 2 Boko Haram commanders were also reportedly released as part of the deal. Now, the allegations from this report raise serious questions around what went into securing the victims' freedoms. Nigerian security services categorically denied paying any ransom, stating government agents do not pay ransoms. And we're told that the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, led the 2-week negotiations that secured the children's release in December. Now, this new report counters the government's claim, and if ransom was paid, it sets a dangerous precedent when it comes to funding of terrorist operations and hinders any sort of, achievement that we can make in this issue that we are facing in Nigeria. Your thoughts?
Oji, Nigeria is a country that has been battered, that has lost its spine, and that is now degrading. And that's the sad reality. From the comments Ayo made as regards America trying to tell you what to do and not collaborating, it's an indictment to say they were trying to collaborate. They were upending your sovereignty right in front of you. Because if they tell you don't deal with Russia but deal with Hungary because Trump is close to Viktor Orban, they are upending your sovereignty. They are telling you that change your laws. They are telling you that we're taking responsibility for your country. Things you ought to provide as a sovereign nation for your people, you cannot provide it. They are taking away your sovereignty, upending your sovereignty. and you think it's something to be happy about, it's a reflection of a country that is on the spine, that is on its knees, that has lost the spine. It has also lost the spine because you can't fight insecurity. We keep asking, the Papiri people that happened, how did they get out? The National Security Advisor told us that don't worry, they will release them. We keep asking, if you do not kill these people in an operation, that means something must have happened. But you see, whatever allegations that they made at the pay ransom is a waste, Oji. You know why? Because some of the Papiri students were kidnapped in January when another attack happened around Niger. So when you look at what is happening in the country, you also now talk about the complicity. That's to show you that Nigeria has lost its spine. A case in point, still today, Oji, who ordered the military to leave 30 minutes before the KB girls were abducted? So can we also extrapolate by saying, were the KB girls too paid? Were ransom paid for the KB girls before they will have been released? Because that was how they were released. Without shooting, without anything. What kind of deal went on?
Those are the questions, Rufai.
And secondly, who ordered the military to leave 30 minutes before? Just like in the case of Woro, over 100 and something people have been kidnapped now. When they sent security reports, it took the military 10 hours to respond. Another point on complicity. When the village head in Woro sent a message to the security authorities, the bandits, the criminals, the terrorists intercepted that message, and that was why they strong. Another fourth point on complicity. So when you have all of this, and the National Security Advisor just says they are releasing people, then it shows that the nation has lost its spine. You know why? Because the general affirmation of every nation is its sovereignty and it is right to be able to protect the people in Section 14 of Section 2. So if the government has lost it in any shape or form, then it is a case of water don't pass Gary or yam pepper scatter issue after yoro. So we are in a dilemma as we speak today, Oji. And that's why when I submit to you that we do not have security, people think I don't know what I'm saying. It's because I've looked at all the parameters and say that if you are protected in this country, it's just by the grace of God you sleep and wake up. Oji, if the men of the criminal world decide to attack or strike anybody close to you, they will do it without anything happening to them. That's the kind of country we are. And that's why you see America is dictating to us. And you can see that Nigeria government has lost its spine so much that in all of this conversation, instead of us to go ahead and take the fight to these people killing people in Jaws and in the likes and everything, what are we doing? We are paying millions to go and do PR and propaganda by trying to appease America, by telling America that we are trying to fight the problem when the problem is still on ground.
All right.
Successive governments failed, but the failure of these governments is ironclad.
All right. Dr. Bati, I'd like your thoughts on the two story, but I want to take this story so that, you can tie it all together. I mean, it's not a story together, it's just because of time. But I want you to touch on those two stories as well after you discuss this. Now, let's turn our attention to this clip from the Arise News primetime show on Friday, which is now circulating on social media. In the clip, the national leader of the Zenith Labour Party, Dan Nwanyangu, vividly recalled a time when he and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu visited the late MKO Abiola when he was in a Lagos hospital. But during one of those visits, Abiola told Nwanyangu that one of the reasons he wanted to be president was because of an emotional encounter with the chief surgeon at a London hospital who happened to be Nigerian. Let's take a look.
When Abiola had a swollen leg, he was admitted in a co-hospital in Lagos, room 437. I was the only non-member of the family that was with him. The wives will bring food, leave it with me. I will serve him. After eating, I will eat the remnants. Abiola called me one day, comrade, do you know why I want to be president? I said, tell me, Mr. President. He said, there was a time I went for surgery in King's Hospital, London. They wheeled me to the theater. 6 doctors were in the room, 3 on my right, 3 on my left. They're all white people. After 10 minutes, sir, do the thing, let me go. He said, no, we're waiting for the chief surgeon. Not long, one black man came with 2 other doctors. When the black doctor entered, he moved close to Abiola. Eka Sosa. Abiola said, Kilorukwe. What's your name? Are you a Nigerian? I say yes. Abiola told me tears dropped from his eyes. He said, comrade, I will bring all these people back in Nigeria and put those hospitals here. Charles, are you telling me that we cannot put King's Hospital in every state in Nigeria? Are you telling me we cannot put these hospitals here? They have stolen the money for the hospitals from the center. You are selling on you, we are not seeing the money. In the past, how many years today? Abiola told me, he cried, that was part of the reason why he wanted to be president. President Tinubu is aware of it. I'm calling him because every day we're in Abiola's house.
Kabati Nwayahu's recollection underscores a persistent challenge that has only worsened since Abiola's time. Nigeria's healthcare crisis is driven by systematic corruption. The result is a system where wealthy Nigerians, including sitting officials, routinely seek treatment abroad, spending an estimated $1.5 billion annually on medical tourism, while public hospitals lack basic supplies. Doctors migrate in droves, with over 5,000 leaving for the United Kingdom and the United States in recent years alone. The irony identified, which is skilled Nigerian surgeons thriving overseas while their homeland suffers, remains Nigeria's most damning indictment. Your thoughts?
Okay, very quickly and briefly, Dan Wanyanwu, what are the points? One, Dan Wanyanwu obviously is an Igbo man, but this was an Igbo man who was left alone to stay with Bashorun MK Abiola.
So from wetin I don't hear right now and wetin they analyze, wetin una think will be the way forward? Drop your opinion at the comment section. Make sure you share this video to everyone on every social media platform. And the only one if you take encourage supporters and click the subscribe button for more updates. I believe everybody they see this in the whole world, they see wetin they go on for Nigeria. So it's no longer a news that this is just a gradual process. It's just a gradual process. So don't forget to click the subscribe button. Don't forget to share to everyone on every social media platform and drop your opinion at the comment section.